Mic check 1 2 1 2. Let's get it. Oh, that's not in the way. Okay, so we are back. We are back. Let's get this right. There we go. We're back. It's been a while. Yes, it has. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong camera. Okay. It's been a while, but we're back. Okay, so today we're talking about anxiety. Anxiety. Okay, so it took a while for me to just not acknowledge, but I would say come to terms with the fact that I have anxiety. I've had anxiety since I was a child. Like, I used to have panic attacks and all that, but they never really sought out the right treatment for my anxiety, for my panic attacks. Like, literally, I went to the hospital for having a panic attack, and when I left, all I was told was it was a panic attack. Like, there was no follow up, no treatment, no like seek therapy, or this exactly, or there was no sit down on, like, oh, this is what anxiety is. This, like, so it's just like I really didn't even have a full idea, or concept of what anxiety like was. I knew it was like dealing with stress, you know what I'm saying, but I didn't know to like what degree. I didn't know how to like reverse it or stop it, or techniques that I could do to like prevent the panic attacks from happening. I honestly just learned on my own how to like stop the panic attacks, but I never really, at that age, I didn't really know the concepts or the techniques that I should do to prevent the stress, or like keep the stress at a minimum. Because, like, even though I knew how to like I could feel my body when it's finna go into like panic attack mode. So it's like I just like kind of sit there for a moment and just talk to myself, like, within my head, like, calm down, it's okay, like, just calm down, and try to get my heart rate back to normal. But it's just like the fact of me even getting to that point, like my body just naturally just getting to that point. I didn't learn any techniques to prevent that. And I feel like those techniques would be journaling, talking to somebody, whether it's a trusted friend or a therapist. I used to listen to music. That's one as well. But my thing was, back then, like, when I used to listen to music, I was in isolation. So it's like, and that plays a role in your emotional health and your mental health. Like, when you isolate yourself, because I wasn't being social, I wasn't interacting, and I feel like over that course of time, that's what caused, like, when eventually when I came back out and tried to be, engaging and social, I was just socially awkward. I was socially off. Like, I was really, and that junk really messed with my anxiety. And so, yeah, like, the point I was trying to make was, I just didn't have the proper techniques. Like I said, that's what I was talking about. Music. Like, I used to, music is a technique as well, because it calms you down. So it's like I was at peace, because music is like, I love music. If you know me, I love music and I love to sing. So for a long period of time, I was just in my room by myself, listening to music, blocking out the world, literally. Like, I could have a whole house full of people, and I'm in my room by myself listening to music, and that right there is a sign of like depression. And nobody ever came to me like, Mari, you alright? You always in your room, like, what's going on? Like, none of that, I guess they just assume I was fine, because when I am around them, I'm talking shit. I cuss, whatever. I be talking my shit. Like, I come from a family, we talk shit. So it's just like, you feel me? And I'm just always smiling. I'm always in a good mood. But yeah, like, that was a sign right there. Like, oh, she's going through something. There's anxiety. There's depression. You know what I'm saying? But I just stuck to myself. Stayed in my room, listened to music, like I said. Even though, like, I was dealing with a bunch of different things, like, relationship wise, financially, emotionally, family wise. I just had a bunch of different things going on in my life that I was bottling in. Excuse me. and not speaking to anybody about. And I feel like that's just what prolonged my anxiety. And so now that I'm an adult, I know like now what anxiety really is like to the core. And it's just like, it just sucks that I didn't know it at the time. Like, cause my anxiety, my panic attacks, they started when I was in like, when I had my first, I feel like I had my first one when I probably was like in the 8th grade. I was young, I remember. And then I think I had a couple more in my freshman year. And then another thing too, I was drinking early, so I feel like that's what kind of triggered my anxiety attacks as well. And my yeah, because I ain't even gonna say I had a substance abuse, but I used to drink. I used to drink and smoke. I was young as hell, drinking and smoking, cause I grew up in the hood, and that's just what everybody was doing. So you know what I'm saying. But when you dealing with a whole lot of stress and you already don't have outlets, people you could talk to, you got a lot on your mind. The worst thing you can do is start drinking or smoking, because it kind of like, it has an effect on your mental state. So it's just like, if you already emotionally unstable, you know what I'm saying, when you start drinking, it does, especially as a kid. Like, I was in the 8th grade drinking. I started drinking probably like the 7th grade, drinking and smoking. So it's just like, my mind probably wasn't even fully developed yet. Who knows? But it played a role on my mental state. I'll say that. And then you top it off with the isolation and not being social, not talking to somebody about my problems, about my issues. It can take a turn for the worse. So thank God I didn't lose it completely, because some people do, it does go that far, thank God I was always like, pretty intelligent, that I would say I had goals. I feel like what kept me sane was my goals and my dreams and playing basketball. And I did have family members that I talked to, but it was just like, as far as talking about our emotions, that wasn't a thing that we really did until we got older, like adults type. But like back then when we was kids, like, that's just talking about our emotions. Like, even my mom, I feel like I mentioned it in one of my prior videos, like, us speaking on how we feel about certain things, that wasn't a thing in my household. So it was very foreign to me. It was, and even when like people did try to, like, I was in a relationship my freshman year, and he used to try to talk to me about my emotions and stuff, like, and I just felt very uncomfortable. And so it didn't really, it didn't go anywhere with that, like, as far as me expressing myself. But long story, the point that I really want to make though is is self-awareness, because it's self-awareness and a willingness to want to be better. And so now that I'm an adult, a grown adult, and I realize like my issues, because everybody has issues, but now that I'm not like trying to ignore them or act like they're not there, I don't want to say embrace them, but in a way it is. I guess it is, like, those are my flaws, and those are the things that I need to address. So it's just like, with me doing that, that's the first thing you can do to like overcome your issues. And so since I've been doing that, I've been growing a lot, and I've been like becoming more conscious, because even with anxiety, like, I used to zone out when people talk to me. I'm gonna say that for another video, because that gets deep as well, and it's called dissociation. Like, I used to do that a lot, but that's a trauma response. But we're gonna get into that in another video. But it's just the fact of acknowledging that whatever issue that you may have. Like, I used to always just run. Like, I never even claimed that I had anxiety. Like, I used to say like, if somebody mentioned something about anxiety, I'd be like, oh yeah, I used to have panic attacks. I have panic attacks. But like, I used to say it, but I didn't really fully understand it. So, but now that I'm an adult and I've been studying this, I'm like, wow, that was really an issue. Like I was young and I was going through all that and ain't have really nobody to like lead me and guide me and like talk me through it. Like that's crazy. But you know, I feel like it comes full circle because look at me now. Hopefully this video helps somebody, If you are going if you do have like anxiety, it helps to get out in nature, to surround yourself with people that are supportive, that makes you feel seen, that makes you feel heard, makes you feel valued and appreciated. That's one thing I'm learning now as well. Like I realize like my anxiety, it gets very like my body, it just feels uncomfortable around certain people, and I feel like at those times, for the most part, that's when like I know like these people ain't really my people. So it's like now I'm big on that. Like I'm listening to my body more. Like if I feel kind of worked up or anxious around you, it's just like overwhelmed. It's like you like the vibe you're giving is a bit much for me. Like you're a little too much, and it's not to say something's wrong with them. It's just they're not my people. You feel me? It's like, and then I could be around somebody else, and they're like, I'm comfortable. Like I'm really being myself. I'm talking freely. I'm saying what's on my mind. Like I'm cracking jokes. I'm having a good time, and it's just like that's the difference. You feel me? Like know your people. Pay attention to how your body react around certain people. So yeah, I would say having supportive people. I would say getting out in nature. I would say listening to music, journaling, grounding, meditation, praying, exercising is good for me. Like that helps me with my mental state. I be in my zone. Like it makes me feel good, and then it makes me look good. You know what I'm saying? So that just builds the confidence, what I'm saying, within myself. My body looks good, it feels good, I'm eating healthy. And then it's just like like the focus is on you. It's like you're locked in on you. What else? Eat, like I said, eating healthy. And I feel like that's and practicing mindfulness. That's another one as well. Just being present, and just knowing your people, like knowing the environments that best suits you, like that gets the most out of you. And when you in comfortable environments that makes you be your true authentic self, like be aware of that. So and try to place yourself in those settings as often as you can. Because yeah, so self-awareness, that's the whole point of this video. Self-awareness as it relates to your issues, specifically anxiety. So I hope y'all got something out of this. Yeah. Like, subscribe, comment if you relate, if it helps. Peace out.